The great Indian T20 wedding is here. The wedding party of billions of cricket fans across the world are ready as well with imaginary pom-poms. And so are we. It's the 14th edition of the league. It made UAE its home last year, and in only about 5 months' time, it's back home now on Indian soil. You're watching this fun new weekly preview show, T20 Crazy on SportsAdda, powered by sportsbet.io. Three Aussies have backed out of the league, citing various reasons, but there's one ever-smiling Aussie who never backs out. Now on his 700th trip to India, he's now almost one of our own thanks to his love for India. And well, the average good looks quotient of this digital window has gone up by 1,000,000 notches thanks to this man. The amazing Wetley has arrived on SportsAdda to be with us every week on T20 Crazy. Binga, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Manish? Nice to see you. Namaste. Kaise hai?
First class, bahut badhiya. You're also going to hear a lot of Punjabi, Gujarati, Marathi from Wetley over the course of the next 8 weeks. Remember, we'll see you once every week. A little bit of English as well, Aussie English. Exactly. Right, Binga, once an athlete, always an athlete, and a true athlete always believes in great preparation, right? And I believe as part of your prep for this season, you made a quick dash to a place called the Barossa Valley, and you also downed a few barrels of what they call the most hygienic of beverages. Was it a bit of grape juice?
Was a bit of grape juice. A little bit of grape juice is always good for you. Now, we went down there on behalf of Jacobs Creek and the Barossa Valley, took my wife down there and a couple of friends, and just got away for a couple of nights, spent some quality time before I was going over into the bubble over here in India. But it's always nice to get down and see beautiful parts of Australia. We're so lucky and blessed that Australia is such a great country, and India is my second country. So it's been the best of both worlds over the last few weeks.
You also had a bit of bubbly before getting into the bubble with a certain Mr. David Warner en route India. What is that conversation like? Did he tell you about how much he's going to miss TikTok while in India? What is that conversation?
Well, they said that, exactly, but they told me that we have to go in the bubble. I thought they said go into the bubbles. So that's obviously why we started with the champagne. But no, look, it was great to see Davey. We actually got the flight with Brad Haddon and also Pat Cummins on the flight too. But Davey and I were sort of seated next to each other and had a really good chat to him actually. And he's in really good form. He looks fit. He looks healthy. He looks as though that he's ready to go out and play for the Sunrisers, and he's been in good form recently as well. But just a good chat as two mates. We've been teammates for many, many years when he first started out for the Blues, and got the chance to play for Australia together. Just an all-round great guy.
Super. Now, there's been so much chaos in the build-up to this season about COVID concerns, etc. And yet, after all that, the league is about to begin in a few hours from now. But the BCCI has made a few tweaks, a few changes to rules that will impact the lives of umpires and players as well, and possibly create a lot more chatter on social media. Let's take a quick look at these new rules. Binga, no soft signal now by the field umpire. That's created a lot of confusion. The third umpire will have the power to overrule on-field umpires' decisions to cut a run from the batting team. So the umpire's call will continue as well. The third umpire can overrule the no-ball decision given by the on-field umpire, and trouble for fast bowlers with long run-ups. Bowling sides will need to complete their 20 overs inside 90 minutes. What do you make of these 5 tweaks?
Look, I think firstly, the no soft signal, I think that's a very good call. The sort of only negative aspect that I had last year is that when there's a tight one, whether it's a catch that you looked as though they may have grasped it, and the umpire on the field goes, I think it's out, and then it goes upstairs. So then, obviously the third umpire, I think, is sometimes influenced by the on-fielder's call in terms of the umpiring. So I don't like that soft signal. I think it's great that they've let that go. So that's no soft signal I'm really happy with. When you think about the third umpire to call a short run, fantastic. You talk about no balls called by the third umpire. Like, that's just smart cricket. Great work by the ICC to put that in, and the BCCI to overrule that. And just to think, look, that's the way it should be. The umpire's there to look at what's happening down the business end, to look at the LBWs, the bowl, the court behind, those types of things. If we have the technology in place, let's use it. The great and the late Dean Jones would always say that that umpire on the field should not be watching the front line. It should be done externally. They've done that now. Well done. Excellent.
Super. And well done and excellent are words that most purists use for a man they call Cheteshwar Pujara. And that one day at the players' auction when Cheteshwar Pujara was picked by the Chennai Super Kings, what was your first reaction when Chennai made that bid? Very happy for Pujara, but from a cricketing logic point of view, what role does this man have in this lineup?
Well, look, it's you can look at it two different aspects. Firstly, he is a terrific cricketer. There's no doubt about his ability. There's no doubt about his technique, his determination to bat time. But when you think on the other side of things, you've also got to think that this isn't Test cricket. This is T20 cricket. It's over in 90 minutes, 20 overs, and you've got to score runs as quickly as possible. Can he do that under pressure? Well, maybe he can. What we've seen recently in that Australian series is that he likes to bat time. So, look, it's an interesting call. I'm a big fan of Pujara, though. I think he's got a lot to offer, but let's see if he can make it in this format.
In Test cricket, his batting is all about park the bus, but in this format, he'll have to take off the aeroplane because Chennai
He's going to drive the bus.
He's going to take off that aeroplane, wheels up in no time for MSD. But yes, absolutely. We'll have to figure, and in fact, we'll have to wait and see what his role in that lineup is. But there is one youngster who is going to take up his third role in this game of cricket: babysitter, behind the stumps commentator, and now captain of the Delhi side, Rishabh Pant. Ponting said, I'm convinced captaincy will make him an even better player. In your book, Binga, is he the right choice when they had the likes of Rahane, Dhawan and Smith as options for captaincy?
I think so. I think he's a future of Indian cricket. I like him because he's cheeky without being too arrogant. He's funny without being, not serious enough. I think he's got the right blend of what you need for a cricketer. So I like the fact that they've given Rishabh Pant the opportunity to captain. I like the fact that they have given that extra bit of responsibility, not only with his captaincy but also with his batting as well, because he's got so much to bring to the team. He's a great find for India. He's a great find for Delhi, and I believe also too that the combination between Rishabh Pant and the the coach rather, in Ricky Ponting, I think that'd be a great little combination there. So it's two wonderful powerhouses coming together. But the leadership qualities of Ricky Ponting will definitely rub on to Rishabh Pant.
There's a certain Aussie DNA about the way Rishabh Pant approaches his cricket, whether it's, he's fearless. He's happy to hit a reverse hit for a six of James Anderson. Now, I can't imagine any young cricketer having that kind of approach, that kind of attitude. There's a bit of Aussiness in him, isn't it?
Can you imagine if I was bowling and that happened? I would have been blowing up. But look, that's great. That's what you want. You want guys to take it to the next level. You want guys to stand up and be cheeky. That's what the IPL is all about. It's about fun, fast, exciting cricket. Bring a different demographic of kids to the game, people on TV to watch, and guys like Rishabh Pant, they bring that to the table. That's what they deliver, and that's why it's so exciting to watch these guys play.
If you look at the Delhi journey in the last two seasons, in 2019, they finished third. Last year, they ended up runners-up. Is this the season when they get to kiss the trophy? They've got the team.
Could well be. Could well be. They definitely have got the team. They've got the right structure. They've got the right coaching staff. They're playing on wickets that I think will definitely suit their style of cricket. So, look, you can have a crystal ball in your hand and go, well, there are 8 teams in the competition, probably 5 teams that are a great chance of winning, and then probably the other couple also, a chance of winning if they play their best cricket. Delhi, on the other hand, I think they're a very good chance of taking that this year.
There's one man who's not looking into the crystal ball. He's looking within. He's become philosophical. The champion, the Superman they call Virat Kohli, is in a slightly philosophical zone these days. I saw an Instagram post the other day, and the caption said, "In the end, it's you who you have to answer to." What do you make of this line? Do champions seek solace in philosophy, or is it about Virat Kohli saying, hang on, I'm answerable to myself, I've set really high standards for myself, and it's got to be now, because he's got the team, he's got the confidence, he's playing in India, of course minus the crowds, but it's Virat Kohli we're talking about.
You know what, I like that quote, but I also like the photograph, and whoever captured that image of Kohli should be commended, because to me, it shows the determination on his face, even though that we're looking side on profile. determination on his face, but also an air of calmness about him. And I like that about Kohli. There's been a lot of people through the press, and I guess through other past players, have sometimes said that Kohli can be too, out there, too aggressive, too full on. But I like that about Kohli, firstly. And I also like that photo because I think that Kohli this year will go in with a bit of a different mindset, maybe that a bit more calmness about him, that assurance about him. He knows he's a world-class player. He has to keep believing he's a world-class player. And now he's got the team around him that actually can be a chance to go on to lift the trophy as well. So, I just like that photo and I like that messaging.
And what do you make of Mad Max now being a part of the Bangalore lineup? I mean, Virat Kohli could be the foil around this madman, Glenn Maxwell. He's always had the freedom to play and back the way he wants to. Every team that he's played for, at times it's worked. He's been a bit hot and cold. There have been purple patches and then there have been a few miserable lows as well. We saw that last year as well. Mad Max, Glenn Maxwell, a part of Bangalore. How do you see that going?
Look, he's obviously due for a big tournament, isn't he? He's due for a massive season. When he's in green and gold, he is on fire. He plays some amazing cricket. The shots he's got in his bag is it's world class. There are not too many other players that can do what Glenn Maxwell does when he's on. Now, when he's on, he's the best to watch. When he's not on, it's disappointing because we want to see Glenn Maxwell bring more to the table. We want to see him get a 50 or a 60 every single time. He's only human, as most players are, but I like the call with Maxwell. I think he needed to change sides. He's gone to a different franchise now, as you mentioned, Bangalore. And I think that'll be a really, really nice change for him. If he goes out there and plays with freedom, then, he'll go out there and score some runs. But also, I just really hope that Maxwell takes his time to get himself in. Now, that might be 3 or 4 balls. We talk about Test cricket. Get yourself in, get the 20 balls. That's different. One day cricket, get yourself the 10 balls. You haven't got that in 2020 cricket. Face 2 or 3, 4 balls, see what's going on, and then go downtown.
Yes, Glenn Maxwell enjoys batting with freedom. He does bring a certain kind of flavor, not just to Bangalore, but to this tournament as well. And guess what? We're going to add a lot of spice to your life on T20 Crazy with our next segment, and it's called Masala Mix. Right, all that spicy, juicy, fun, irreverent shall find a place here in this segment we call Masala Mix on SportsAdda's weekly preview show T20 Crazy. The first one is a quote from a young knight, Shubman Gill, says strike rate is a bit overrated. Now, he might have said it in a slightly different context. Now, I'm gonna quote him verbatim. He says, I think strike rate is kind of overrated. It's all about how you adapt to a certain situation. If the team demands you to play with a strike rate of 200, you should be able to do it. Over to the expert, Mr. Lee.
Well, I mean, depending on what way you look at it, you're right. It's about the context of how he says it and what situation of the game. If you need to score at a strike rate of 200 the last 5 overs, and then you have to score at that strike rate, otherwise most teams will lose. So, is it overrated? Look, I think that there has to be some type of boundary that they need to get to, or some type of level is a pretty better way to explain it. So strike rate is important in my opinion. It's probably not the be all and end all. I think it goes out with, if you hit 4s and 6s and rotate the strike, that's going to look after the strike rate anyway. So we can say boundaries, we can say, not losing wickets. Essentially that's looking after strike rate anyway.
Yeah, don't worry about the strike rate, as a lot of experts say.
Just a different way to say it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But, Shubman Gill might have said this, but a lot of those shots that he plays on the offside are delicious. And someone else who's been looking after his palate as well, Jimmy Neesham, now part of the Mumbai Indians, has tweeted about his love affair with kathi rolls, how that's been rediscovered. Have you been looking after what you're eating in the bio bubble, or now that you're not playing top level cricket, everything goes?
Of course, mate. I've been training hard. I actually did 6 laps. I did 6 kilometers, I should say. Most people would probably say 6 laps. 6 kilometers in my hotel room the other day. So I've been, making sure I'm bubble fit. Not that I want to come back and play, of course, but just making sure I'm looking after myself for life. But you've got to enjoy the Indian food. You've got to enjoy the culture whilst you're over here, and that's what it's about. It's the whole experience when you come to India. It's not just the cricket. It's the fans. It's the social media. It's the engagement. It's the food. It's the flair. That's what India brings. It's fantastic.
The country wants video evidence of those 6 kilometers, Mr. Lee. I'm looking forward to seeing that video on your Instagram.
I'm trying to find my Apple Watch. It's around here somewhere. I'll get it up for you later on. I'll show you.
Super.
I
So
did
that's
say
what we need to look forward to.
6 kilometers.
6 kilometers is it? It is. But you know what? There are people in India who can foresee what's going to happen in the future. We have a legend in India called Mr. Bappi Lahiri. He's a legendary musician. Now, 39 years ago, in 1982, he created a song to welcome Jimmy Neesham to the Mumbai side. It's a song from a super hit film called Disco Dancer, and it goes, Jimmy, 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 Aja, Aja, Aja. Have you heard that song?
Really?
I don't know. You know, the Mumbai Indians are like a family, and I'm sure they would have welcomed Jimmy Neesham in grand style. But there's someone else who likes to welcome bowlers with utter disdain. His name is Andre Russell, and this man is the only batsman to hit 100 plus sixes in the Indian T20 League for Kolkata. Now, Binga, if you were a bowler, where would you bowl to him? What would your game plan against Andre Russell be? Or would you look away from the captain if he's asking you to bowl to Andre Russell?
No, definitely not. Look, you always want to challenge yourself against the best. 100 sixes is incredible when you think about Andre Russell and what he brings to the table. Where would you bowl to him? Personally, I would go around the wicket and I would try to hit what they call his right heel. So his back leg, his back heel. So I'm actually trying to pitch the ball a Yorker and bowl the ball essentially just outside leg stump. Now, most people would go, it's going to be a wide. Well, not the way that he sets up. So he sets up with that front leg open. So that gives you that, it's almost trying to bowl between his legs, get the ball straight down and bowl the ball between his legs. It has to be hitting the base of the stump. So hit the return crease, not the popping crease. Don't bowl length. You're going to hit the 6, as he's clearly proven he can hit 100 sixes. Don't bowl wide because he loves width, hence the reason why he opens up that front leg. You've got to bowl the ball at the right heel. So I would be very excited. I wouldn't run the field. Not saying that I'd get him out, not saying that he'd hit me for sixes, but it'd be a great challenge.
Right. We'll send a copy of this clip to the Mumbai Indians, especially to the recently married Mr. Jasprit Bumrah, who can bowl a Yorker at 3 in the night. He can do it like it's child's play. So, but that clash, Kolkata will be playing Mumbai in the first week of the IPL, and that clash gives us another mini battle, or shall I say, it's a mega battle between two big names, Rohit Sharma versus Sunil Narine. Now, surprisingly enough, Rohit Sharma, who has been an absolute legend in T20 cricket, doesn't have a great record. In 17 innings, he's been dismissed by Narine 6 times. Rohit Sharma hasn't scored, hasn't been in great touch in the recent past. In fact, the recently concluded ODI series against England was the first home series where Rohit Sharma did not hit 100. How do you see this battle panning out, Rohit Sharma versus Sunil Narine?
Well, when you think about the 6 dismissals out of 17 innings, yeah, that's probably a problem, because he's got him so many times, but it's probably the lack of strike rate. So Shubman Gill can probably have a listen to this, but yeah, to strike at 108, I think it was, that's not great for someone like a Rohit Sharma. He's a better player than that. So you would say that Narine has probably got the wood over Rohit Sharma in those recent 17 innings. 129 runs, yeah, that's not too bad. 6 dismissals, but the strike rate. So he obviously ties him down. He can't really get off strike, and that's the reason why I think that he might play a rash shot or a false stroke or a big shot and lose his wicket. So that's going to be another great matchup. I will say, though, that Rohit Sharma, in my opinion, he's one of my favourite players to watch. Love watching him bat. He's perfect. Good technique, plays a cross bat shot.
I think this is going to be a regular feature for the next 7 weeks. But Brett, 2 overs from Narine against Rohit Sharma in the power play, or would you hold him back for the middle overs?
Well, not with a record like that. Get him in. Rohit Sharma. I think that once he gets going, he'll score big runs. So I think if you get Narine on as quickly as possible, then that's a great outcome. 17 innings, 6 wickets, strike rate of 108. Get him on.
Right, another battle to look ahead to, another mini battle with a mega superstar. It's from the Hyderabad-Bangalore clash that will happen in the first week of this league is Virat Kohli versus Sandeep Sharma. Now, Kohli is the highest run scorer in the IPL with almost 5,900 runs in 192 matches, 500, 39 half centuries, On the other hand, Sandeep Sharma, who's played 8 seasons of the league, has 109 wickets, of which 7 have been Kohli's dismissals in 13 innings. How startling is that number for you?
Oh, Sandeep Sharma, you champion. I mean, they are great numbers. 13 innings, 73 runs, 7 dismissals at a strike rate, 132. The strike rate's okay. I mean, it's not great, but the strike rate's okay. 7 dismissals out of 13 is a worry, but 73 runs. That are not many runs against someone like a Sandeep Sharma. Now, he bowls about 124 k's an hour. He's not quick. You don't need to be quick when you're Sandeep Sharma because he's got beautiful wrists. He swings the ball both ways. He can take the ball away to try and get the nick, and then it's the one that darts back in with that new ball that can get Kohli, LBW, bowled, those types of dismissals, inside edge, caught down, towards the keeper. So he's got a great record against him, and I think it's probably the lack of pace where someone like Rohit Sharma, someone like a Virat Kohli has come unstuck.
It would perhaps be a bit inappropriate to use the word bunny in this case, but give me a bowler's perspective.
There's definitely no Katagosh. no Katagosh.
Give me a bowler's perspective on what it's like to have a record like this against a Virat Kohli. You, as a bowler, you know these numbers, don't you?
You do. And if you don't know them, you should. And if you haven't been told them, then the bowling coach isn't doing his job, first and foremost. I don't think it's the coach's role. I think the bowling coach needs to get to every single player and see if I was bowling coach of an IPL side, you do all the hard work in the nets, you jump on the bus, you have your laptop in front of you, you go through the top 5 or 6 batsmen that that you'll be up against, you have a look at your record against them. What I used to do personally, I used to sort of do all the hard work in the nets, and then on the way to the ground, it's all about positive thinking, positive affirmations. I would just look at, even if it wasn't the same team, me taking wickets against England. If I'm playing against India, me taking wickets against England or the Kiwis, India, West Indies. But what it's doing is training your brain to think about those positive thoughts, taking wickets, bowling good channel. And I reckon that's what they need to do. So, the bowling coaches will definitely be going to Sandeep Sharma. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change things. Looks good. It's fantastic and it works.
I'm sure Sandeep Sharma has a little diary somewhere with at least 7 golden pages of how he got the master Virat Kohli out. But guess what? We've got another book to talk about on T20 Crazy. This time, let's head to Binga's notebook. Binga's notebook is all about putting this champion bowler on the spot, getting him to predict something specific, not just the winner. We have a few specific questions. Of course, we're looking ahead to the first week of this edition of the Indian T20 League. We do have 7 matches to talk about, but of these 7 matches, Binga, which is the one game you're most looking forward to?
Oh, look, I think the first one, the 9th of April, 7:30 in Chennai, Mumbai versus Bangalore. I think that's going to be a really, tough fixture. Always the first game of the tournament's always a tough one because, you want to start well. Mumbai, I think, what's it been? I'm guessing it maybe the last 5 or 6 seasons where they've always lost their first game. They regularly lose their first game and maybe the first probably 3 or 4 games, but then they come good. We know how good the Mumbai Indians record is, but if they can turn that around this year, start on a positive, I think that'd be the best thing for them. It's going to be a great series. I'm so excited. I mean, you flashed up those different teams playing against each other in the first week. There's some quality teams playing, and at some great venues too.
They say there is no time, there's no scope for a gentle loser in T20 cricket, but we'll make that exception for you. Pick a winner for this first game.
I have to go Mumbai, I think. Definitely. Just because of their form. You talk about Mumbai versus Bangalore. I know I'm going against the odds of what's happened recently. I'm going against the grain, but this year I'm changing. I think Mumbai will start off with the win.
Right. Of course, we'll see how Virat Kohli responds to that. We're, of course, going to send a copy of this show to Virat as well. Maybe tag him when we upload this video.
Hello, Mr.
Right.
Coach. Yeah.
Right. Of course, the second game is Chennai versus Delhi to be played at the Wankhede. Now, we've got a specific question for you, a specific prediction. Which Delhi player will be the highest scorer for his team in this game?
Well, I think a gentleman that we've already spoken about in deep quality is Rishabh Pant. I think that, as what I said before, he's on top of his game now. He's got the leadership qualities, and I think he'll go out there and have a huge game. So Rishabh Pant for me.
Right, the other game is Rajasthan taking on Punjab again at the Wankhede. Now, Joss Butler of Rajasthan finished last season with 328 runs in 13 games. Will Joss Butler score a 50 in this opening game?
I don't think he will in the first game, but I definitely think he will throughout the tournament. He's a great player. I love watching him play. He's very nifty. He's a powerful hitter without being, nothing up in terms of the same power hitting as someone like a Dre Russ, but he's very nifty. He works the ball around. I don't think you get 50 first game, though. I'm sorry.
Right, there's also a box office clash to look ahead to. It's Kolkata versus Mumbai. The glamour teams will take on each other in Chennai. There's Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya, Kyron Pollard, Rohit Sharma, Quinton de Kock on one side, and then there is Andre Russell, Nitish Rana, Dinesh Karthik on the other side. Binga, which team will hit the most number of sixes? It's an easy one.
Well, you could easily say Kolkata because of Dre Russ, but I think consistently it has to be Mumbai. I think Mumbai got some powerful hitters too, so Mumbai will hit more sixes in this game, in my opinion.
Right, it's not just a batsman's game. Let's talk about bowlers as well. There's Hyderabad versus Bangalore to be played in Chennai. There's Rashid Khan, T. Natarajan, Shahbaz Nadeem for Hyderabad. And then there is Saini, Siraj, Washington Sundar, Chahal for Bangalore. Which of the two teams will have the best bowler of this match?
I think when you're playing in Chennai against Bangalore in terms of Hyderabad, you have to look at their bowlers, as we mentioned. Natarajan, you think of Rashid Khan. Those guys, I think, would dominate in this type of tournament and sit on this wicket. So I'm going to go Hyderabad will take more wickets and be the better bowling team.
Right, so we have a confirmation. We have video evidence of what Brett Lee is picked. Remember, Binga, the digital world never forgets what you do or what you say. We have video evidence of what you picked. These choices might come back to haunt you on episode 2 of T20 Crazy on SportsAdda. Do you want to change any of these answers? Still have a chance.
No, I'm going to lock them all in, please. But that's a great thing about doing it live. It's great. We do it live. We say it as it is. Mumbai, Rishabh Pant, no. And then I've gone Mumbai again. And then I've gone with Hyderabad as my final answer. So, yes, I'm happy with that. That's my week 1 predictions from Binga's notebook.
These answers have been locked and they've been kept away in deep freezer. We'll pull them out.
We're live. We can't do a pre-record, so we're live. We have to be locked away.
Of course. Since it's our first episode together, let me be nicer to you. Let me give you another simple question. Easy to answer.
Okay. Just thoda.
धीरे धीरे थोड़ा थोड़ा आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आराम से करेंगे. Give me your picks for the 4 playoff teams, or should I say Mumbai +3?
You could say Mumbai +3. I'm actually going to go. We'll start with Mumbai. So Mumbai is locked in my top 4, in my opinion. I think in Mumbai, I think it'll be Delhi. Now I'm torn between Sunrisers Hyderabad, Kolkata Knight Riders, and Kings 11 Punjab. So I'm going to put Kings 11 with their new 2 Australian fast bowlers who are absolute jets. I'm going to put Kings 11 up in the top 4 along with Hyderabad. So Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Kings 11. So Pretty Zinta will be happy with that.
Virat Kohli won't. Bangalore fans won't. Brett Lee has not picked Bangalore as one of his playoff teams. Breaking news.
Look, any side, any of these 8 teams, that's the great thing about the IPL. Any of these 8 sides could go on, to win this IPL, and they could finish in the top 4. We know that. The teams I'm thinking, picking on form, picking on the structure of the team. But I mentioned about Kings 11, those 2 bowlers, when you think about Jai Richardson coming in, you think about Riley Meredith coming in, some real good pace. I think it's going to help Kings 11 getting up into the top 4.
And they do have new colors as well, new jersey color. May that bring a little more luck for KL Rahul's side. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Right. We're done with Binga's notebook. It's time to move on and get going with our next segment, which is called #AskBinga. This one's not about me yapping away. It's about fans asking questions to the champion, and we've got a lot of questions coming in. We picked 3 questions that have come in from our viewers. The first one comes in from Karan Sethi. Let's take a look.
Hi, this is Karan Sethi from Mohali, and I would like to ask a question to Mr. Brett Lee. Kindly let us know who is your favorite batsman and bowler in the T20 format. Thank you.
And nice, cute dog, by the way, as well, mate. Good to see the dog in the background. Favorite bowler, favorite batsman. Look, it's very hard to pick. I'd have to go Rohit Sharma. You know, I like Rohit Sharma, the way that he attacks the bowlers. I'm really, really impressed with his style of cricket. I mentioned that before. So Rohit Sharma for me. In terms of the bowlers, I always pick a fast bowler, but this year, because we're playing back in India, I'm going to go Rashid Khan. I think Rashid Khan's going to have a great IPL. So they're my two picks, mate.
The next question, I suspect, is a bit more specific, and it comes in from Bipin. Let's take a look.
Hi Bradley sir, how are you? My name is Bipin Rai. I am from Chhattisgarh. Which bowler do you think is going to be a highest wicket taker in this IPL and why?
Namaste, Bipin G. How are you? I would have to go, my highest wicket taker, a bit like that first question, would have to be Rashid Khan, because he's playing back on these wonderful Indian wickets. The ball's going to turn, it's going to rag massively. He's going to get a lot of wickets. He's going to have a great economy rate. So for me, sir, it's going to be Rashid Khan.
Right, one more question. This one is a slightly emotional one. A crazy Bradley fan has a question for you. Let's head across to Radhika Pathak.
Hi Brad, how you doing? My name is Radhika Pathak and I'm from Ahmedabad. My question for you is, if you had the chance to play for any of the IPL teams, which one would it be and why? Thank you.
Hey Radhika, thank you for bringing my guitar back. I really appreciate that. Same one that was on your wall. Who will be the franchise I will play for? Tough one, because I've played for Kings 11 Punjab and I've also played for Kolkata Knight Riders. Oh, someone's going to hate me. What do I do? Let's say the Kings 11 Punjab. I would play for that because I believe they're a chance of winning it this year. Kings. Never.
Right. So there you are. We've had. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just joking. Money doesn't matter. Play for the love of the game. Right. And for the love of T20 Crazy, we are going to head into our last and final segment. It's the last lap, and we're calling it the endgame. Now, here's your chance to win exclusive Bradley autographed merchandise in this segment that we call the endgame. Now, we'll ask you, in fact, Bradley will ask you a very simple question at the end of every week's T20 Crazy episode. Binga, what do you have for us on our opening episode?
Yeah, I like this new format. It's a chance for me to ask some questions. So here we go. My question is, I dismissed a Delhi batsman off the very first delivery of the season in the 2013 edition of the Indian T20 League. Can you name him?
Can you name him? Shall I help you? I'm going to give you guys a clue. Let's make it easier for you guys. This batsman captained his country to an under-19 World Cup trophy win. You should know this.
Good question,
An iconic moment. The start of the innings. Okay, let me not tell you too much. Go and find out. Do a bit of work. There's a reason they made
Go and do your research.
That's right. And send us your answers. You can tag us on social media, tag Binga, tag me, tag SportsAdda. Remember to use hashtag T20 Crazy for us to pick your answers. And of course, we'll pick one winner every week, and that person will also get a special shout out from Binga. Binga, will it be a flying kiss, a hello, namaste? What will it be?
It'll be a there we go. I'm not sure what that's called, but we'll just roll with it.
It's called a pucci. It's called a
Pucci.
Right?
I have to believe you, don't I?
It is pucci. Kissy. Okay. Call it whatever. Call it whatever you like. It's full of love. It's straight from Binga's heart. So that's what fans are looking forward to the most. But guess what, Binga? We're done with the opening episode of T20 Crazy. This IPL, we're done. This is what it was. It's called T20 Crazy on SportsAdda, powered by sportsbet.io. And I am going to leave you with two famous words that Mrs. Johnson said to her husband when she won $1 million in a lottery. Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Cheerio.